almost 4 years. Probably this December. I wish I could
Just say hi.
Yes, I'm on. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a endowed chair at the.
Denise, when I emailed you 1,000.
Oh,
You know, because I have your graduate student.
I want to talk to you about the stuff, you know.
Okay, you're in a chair. Okay.
No, I'm just an international graduate student.
Gotcha. Peter, I'm sorry about that.
Yes, no, but I've always,
Okay.
what do you mean, right?
Show me, yeah, that's right.
I
Oh,
emailed
yeah.
you today. I small copy.
Oh, okay, got you.
So we can,
Yeah.
Get started. Good morning. Welcome to this seminar on De-Globalization and U.S. Economic De-Risking from China by Professor Kelvin Zhang. Kelvin and I has been friends for many, many years. And Kelvin also, we work together on a journal called Chinese Economy. So the journal has been there for many years, and he's really helping me a lot. Particularly, in the emergency, I was called upon him for help, to look over some papers. And Kelvin is a graduate from. He's now teaching. He's a professor at Illinois State University, and he graduated from University of Colorado Boulder. Okay, and he completed his postdoctoral research at Harvard University. And Kelvin is very productive. He published more than 100 papers, in his career, and he's still cranking more papers. So he's very prolific writer, and he has taught in many Chinese university. So I think I don't want to take much of your time. So without further ado, let's Professor Zhang take over the floor.
Thank you, Professor Fu. Okay, I would like to talk about U.S.-China economic links and the recovery. Yeah, eventually I want to emphasize overall for the world economy as a whole. We predict many economists, including myself, in the coming 2 or 3 decades, the world economy will be in the process of de-globalization. That's the main conclusion. All right. Well, this is not the definite conclusion. We just based on the history and some economic trend. We believe in the following years this will be happen. Okay. Here is the outline for today's talk. First, we look at how is the decoupling, the ongoing decoupling going. Then we look at the relationship between decoupling, de-risking, and de-globalization. Then we emphasize, how de-globalization related to great power competition. Then we have some conclusion based on a simple model about so-called de-globalization cycle. Based on the history, say 200 years. Okay, first let's look at the background information for today's talk. We know U.S. initiated trade war against China and also economic decoupling from China for about 5 years since 2018. That's former President Donald Trump. All right, so right now 5 years already passed. All right. Well, if you look at current U.S.-China economic links, you may find out, well, looks like the decoupling it's not really happened because the two countries still very closely linked to each other. Here I have a data for U.S.-China trade. If you compare 5 years ago, 2018, and latest data for 2020, you will find out the trade, imports, exports did not change very much. Probably only, trade deficit for U.S. decreased something last column. All right. If you look at it, U.S. export, that's China's U.S. imports. Okay, this is a typo. Sorry, this would be U.S. exports. This would be U.S. imports. All right, because U.S. don't trade deficit. Sorry, it's my typo. So also you look at top 4 exporting nations in the world. In here is 2017 to 2020. You will see the red color is China. All right. You will see actually China still, grew faster than other three. Because this overall still increase, China's export, and the blue, this is US, this one light blue, that's Germany, this is for Japan. You will say actually Germany probably maintained, but still last 2021, decreased a little bit. And for US, for Germany, also roughly just maintained, but Japan, not increased very much. China actually still, increased. And here, I want to show, if we look at the other area of the world, not just the US and China, you will say in European Union, China's market share as exports, increased significantly relative to Germany. Germany used to be, percentage market share quite high. China started from 2000s, just only 2.5, but now got 13%. And Germany actually peaked almost 20%, right? Right now just about 15%. So this just gives you an idea. If you pay attention for recent news about the automobile industry, in particular electric vehicle EV, China right now, already made a huge, very big progress because China right now is a leading producer of EVs. This is pretty interesting. Okay, now, so here we have some say US firm activities in China, operation and also the revenue, roughly still maintained quite high in China, did not decrease significantly. All right, and a lot of sanctions, in high-tech industry did not destroy totally Chinese industry, but initially, indeed, it's big influence. Say Huawei. Huawei used to be, if you look at data in 2019, in I think the second quarter, Huawei's production of smartphone already surpassed Apple. Apple's iPhone in that quarter. After sanction, Huawei, because Huawei cannot get chips, so the production of the smartphone dropped. And then Apple gained a lot of world market share at the expenses of the Huawei. But just last month, that's August 29th, Huawei's got a new smartphone. Many people expect in the following years, Huawei may gain back market share. So basically, for trade, China still maintain world market share. Actually, if you look at data, about 13 years ago, China first surpassed the US as largest trade nation in the world. Then also at the same time, China become more countries than US as largest trade partner. Right now, China maintain about 130 countries. 130 countries, largest trade partner. Remember, this position used to be taken by US. But right now, US just covered about 70, 60 countries, largest trade partner. 5 years passed, China still maintained this one. So it looks like, China still actually did pretty good. Okay, then question. Does globalization will continue in the future? Answer, based on my research and some other economists, no. We do have de-globalization in trend. So in the following rest of my talk, I will concentrate on these issues. So here, the decoupling, de-risking, and de-globalization is why US engaged decoupling policy. Well, let's quite simple because in the past 20 years, US realized Chinese economy grew too fast. The gap became very slow, and the US built a challenger. US believe China is potential or largest challenger to the US in Germany, basically. So that's why US said, well, we must do something. And also another logic is, US believe the rise of China mainly because of China's participation of globalization. Here, especially, increasing link, increasing integration between US and China. Well, then US believe where to stop or slow down Chinese economy. The best way is decoupling. So if I reduce, integration, Chinese economy will be slowed down or even will be stopped. That's basic logic. I would say that's right. That's right. So I still remember, in Trump run president, Trump said, well, many American people, particularly politicians, they're stupid. They do not realize, why China is rising. We have that. That's his comment. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not so easy. If U.S. just decouple from Chinese economy, U.S. cannot stop or just cannot even slow down Chinese economy because China is integrating the rest of the world, not only with U.S., European Union, many countries. So U.S. will have to got Japan, support from Japan, South Korea, and more importantly, European Union, say Germany. But then they found out, in European Union, U.S. got some difficulties. Say, German economy, in large part, actually depends on Chinese economy because Germany's manufacturers very strong, automobiles, other industry. China is the largest market for German companies. So then German government, well, this is not a good idea because my economy is so close to the US. Then eventually they have an idea. Of course, they have to take US consideration. So this is, how about this, not decoupling, de-risking. We can some industry, if there's some security consideration, we can just reduce the links. That's de-risking. That's the idea. Then US eventually says, okay, if you don't like the decoupling, we use de-risking. But remember, for the US, all right, decoupling is only decoupling. De-risking is nothing but decoupling. So even European Union, they say, we will not use decoupling. We use de-risking. The US, okay, we use de-risking, but I still think that's decoupling. So basically, that's the way. All right, and also you just think about it. If US continue to push this way, all right, that's globalization definitely will declining. Because US right now is #1 in the world in GDP. China is the second. Remember, this top two, the other countries far away. It's not Japan is #3, but Japan's GDP is only like 1/3 of the China. So only US and China GDP on the top, then others follow this big gap. So if these two countries are decoupling, so globalization definitely will be not only declining, but also I would say, well, reversing. That means deglobalization. All right. Okay. Here, we have some evidence about deglobalizations. In past 5 years, protectionism has become the hallmark of the trade investment policy worldwide. And the national security as the rationality to restrict trade, once considered exception in trade policy, has now become a law. More and more countries realize, including China. Because initially, US, say like telecommunication equipment produced by Huawei, result in some security issues. China said, well, I will not use your equipment. Then more and more countries realize if you, just like even smartphone, country may use this technology to collect information, something like that. So more and more countries realize this, then you may expect, more restrictions. And actually already right now we found out the growth of the world trade investment has slowed down. And if you look at US-China trade, even did not fall very much, but China's share in US, total trade indeed decreased. Later I will show you evidence. Here I can give you. In 2018, 2019, China even become US #1 trade partner. After that, that's Canada and Mexico. Right now, China is #3 after Mexico and Canada. So Mexico right now is largest trade partner to the US, then Canada, then China. So this is outcome for the two countries decoupling. Okay, so we believe, in following, 2 or 3 decades, we will not say globalization, but de-globalizations. Here you can see global trade, the trend, recently even used to maintain, then some decrease, because this data just on 2021, And here the investment, this is more sensitive, investment more sensitive. Foreign direct investment, you can say indeed, actually this trend started even earlier. It's not recently, actually 10 years ago, already see that. And here is what FDI, you can see, flows, And this is number of production. Why this on the top cannot disappear? Please. You can, you click that, you can, Oh, thank you. Number of protectionist undertaking in the world. You see this, obvious significant increases. So deglobalization and great power competition. So we look at history. If you look at history, we found out we have 2 waves of globalization in the history. First one, that's in 19th centuries until the First World War. All right, that's 1870, 1913. In this period, U.S. was rising. All right, at that time, the UK was hegemony. It's number 1. But UK in the trend was 40. All right. After 1913, U.S. emerged as global superpower. Basically, that's in that period happened. Then you will find out some similarities, between second waves of globalization. In this period, China was rising relative to U.S. Here, remember, I will not say U.S. is declining, but relatively China is rising. Because in past 30 years, U.S. GDP in the world, the share maintained about a quarter, sometimes lower, say 22%, sometimes 21%, but sometimes 25%. So roughly it's still a quarter. But China's share increased significantly from like 1 or 2%, right now close to 20%. So the relatively, we say China's relative to US is rising. So now great power, so US and China competition, right now this competition is leading to deglobalization. Here, let's use a diagram to show this situation. Vertical axis show trade GDP ratio. Usually we use this one to indicate globalization. All right. Then you will say, this is the first wave. All right. In this 43 years, UK is leading, is number 1, but the US was rising. US GDP actually already surpassed the UK in 1890 already, but overall, comprehensive getting power still low level. Then we have World War in this area. In this period, we have deglobalization because almost all countries have tariff restriction on trade. All right, but after the war, Second World War II, after Second World War II, US become obviously only superpower. So US pushed globalizations. But since right after the Second World War, we actually got a period of the Cold War. That means US is not only because of former Soviet Union also rising. So the two countries compete. Then world actually was divided in 2 groups. US lead one group and the former Soviet Union another group. So we did not have complete globalization. Actually, in 1991, from that year, we have a real globalization because former Soviet Union collapsed. So we believe second wave of globalization actually started from 1991. This area, Cold War area, actually is not complete globalization. Right? And now, right now, we may expect, actually already started, but we believe, in the following years, we must say deglobalization. So here, how China outweighs global trade system. I just mentioned a few facts. If you remember, 2001, very famous academic economist, Goldman Sachs, chief economist, Jim O'Neill. He identified, the BRIC, this term created by this guy. He identified, international banking, investment bank economists usually sensitive to the short-term changes. All right. He identified 4 countries as potential challenger to the US hegemony. He used 2 criteria, population and area. He found out the population, so the country could challenge US must maintain at least 100 million population, and the area at least 200. Let me say that's 200, 2 million square meters. If you use these 2 criteria, you will find out in the worldwide, only 4 countries meet this condition, except the US, China, India, Russia, and Brazil. Remember, must be 2 conditions. Population must 100 million, and area must 2 million square meters. Kilometers. India population definitely. Area, India is 3 million square kilometers, and Brazil area is 8 million square kilometers. Population also, more than 200 million. Russia, indeed, area is much bigger. Population also. Indeed, other countries, Japan population meets this criteria, but Japan's area is small. Remember that. And Indonesia, population definitely meets this criteria, but area is small. And Germany, you can check. Only 4 countries. I believe the US, the think tank, many people realize this one. But Jim O'Neill, he actually somehow, was very out talking. He said, only 4 countries potentially can challenge US. Of course, at that time, many American people like this guy, very optimistic. Oh no, even this is a break, but actually they cannot. He just called this 4 countries as emerging markets, emerging economy. But nobody, expected, including myself at the time, when we did not say China's economy grows so fast. So eventually, China really become a challenger to the US. That's happened. So right now, when we say BRIC, of course, they have 5 countries in the group. That's South Africa. But South Africa actually will not be a challenger to the US. So BRICS. And this year they have a new meeting. They have a meeting, including 6 new members. But you will say, if you look at the GDP share in the group, China dominated more than half. Other countries together, smaller than China, just like that. Okay, only China emerged as a superpower in the 2 decades. So far, the rest of China has been economic, not military, not say political. Ideology. China cannot compete with USA democracy or some other things, are just economically so far. And the military is still big gap. All right, military. So unprecedented globalization since 1991 has been mainly result from US-China economic integration. Here I give you an example. Right now in economics, we mentioned this term, global value chain, GVCs. I don't know if you're familiar with this one or not. That means in the first wave of globalization, say international trade, basically we call that one inter-industrial trade. That means 2 countries trade each other in 2 industries. Say US export high-tech products, export high-tech products to China, import low-tech or labor-intensive products from China. So export, import, the two products totally different. Actually, this indeed happened. Say 20 years ago, China exported a lot of clothing, shoes, toys, this kind of stuff, and China, imports from US mainly the computer, automobile, this kind of totally different. But right now, if you look at trade between US and China, we see something called the intra-industrial trade. That's for same industry. The 2 countries trade each other. Here I give you a simple example. iPhones. This product's designed by Apple, all right, but in production, particular assembly in China. So you will see US import iPhone from China, but the iPhone actually is a product by Apple, right? So this is one example. Another example is automobile or other electronic products. Same products, yeah. Country forms traded in components, yeah. And the final stage of production, more likely in China, yeah. And for past 10 years, we see increasing share of Chinese components. Here again, let me take iPhone, yeah, as an example. 20 years ago, Chinese assembly contribution total revenue for the value added for the iPhone less than 2%, because assembly, that's purely labor intensive. So contribution is very small, but China still like that because can create a lot of jobs. Recently, I read an article kind of data. Yeah, Chinese contribution in value added iPhone about 25% and closing to 30%. That's the reason even US have a lot of sanction on Chinese products, but the Chinese government never say, okay, I will have a sanction on iPhones. No, because if you have sanctions, say not allow Chinese people buy iPhone, it's also have negative influence on the Chinese economy, because about 1 million Chinese people hired in the company, that's focused on, working, to do put in for the iPhone. This including components. So GVC. So this GVC actually, the term was actually first appeared, I think so, 30 or 40 years ago. It's called a global value chain. But this term became popular only in recent 20 years, mainly due to China's participation, in particular, US-China economic integration. So if you talk about the GVC, we will say mainly, that's US-China, these two countries, all right? Then you may expect if we had de-globalization, the GVC could be reduced significantly. You will not see this one in short run, say 5-10 years, but more than that, in 20 years, 30 years, you definitely will see that. Okay, here for the US feels something, challenger, I read the article, they put China and Russia together, say US economy has multiple two countries. Say in 1990, US economy, could be, more than 7 times of combined China and Russia. But right now, 2021, almost equal. Of course, for this combined, Russia's GDP right now is only China's, I think it's 1/8. Small. China mainly, together. Actually, China already close to 80% of US GDP. But remember, this is sometimes if you just look at GDP, could be misleading. Here, I quote, a famous economist. He is also Nobel Prize receiver, Paul Krugman. Recently, last month, he has an article in New York Times. He say how to compare US-China economy, because someone asked me which country's GDP larger, economy size larger. He said, well, it's hard to say. If you say China is bigger than US, yes or no. He used, for economists, we know we have two measurements. One that's exchange rate in terms of US dollar, another one so-called purchasing power parity, that's PPP. All right. If you use exchange rate US dollars, US number 1, China's number 2. But if you use purchasing power parity, China's number 1, US number 2. This simply say for economists, we believe, PPP measurement is more accurate, because this one, if say recently, US dollar becomes stronger, then relatively China's GDP, just from the figure, the numbers, is decreasing. Even China's GDP, the quantity of goods service produced doesn't even increase, But relative to US, if you measure in dollar exchange rate, China becomes smaller, US become bigger, just like that. So economists believe in the long term, PPP is more accurate. But still, this short run, exchange rate is still useful because right now, if you travel to many countries, you will find out very cheap because dollar is so strong. Yeah, my daughter told me she and her friends just last week traveled to Canada, Montreal. So, oh my God, so cheap. You have dinner something same like Boston, but just half price. Because right now, US dollars much stronger than Canadian dollars. All right. So just give you an idea. And also, Krugman believe China's 3 decades economic miracle already made it bona fide, economic superpower. And even right now, currently, China has some problem faced, like unemployment in young people, But he said the current problem are not likely to change that fact. That's a view from an economist, all right? And here I'll give you an example, probably got a more idea. Do you think Italy is a superpower? Probably not, but Italy's GDP and Russia, if you use exchange rate, dollar GDP, Italy is bigger than Russia. But you definitely, Russia is more strong, powerful than Italy. All right? Here you see purchase power GDP, Russia is bigger. Actually, Russia right now is the only country can challenge US militarily. Only China couldn't. That's why US didn't have the warship in China, very close to China. All right, but US will not have that in close to Russia because Russia has nuclear, weapon, very strong. So this gives you the idea, so-called exchange rate GDP and purchasing power GDP. Okay, now why we say decoupling, may work in 10, 20, or 30 years as deglobalization. Due to huge cost of decoupling, deglobalization may take a longer time, longer period. The logic of hegemony, we have a cycle as a hegemony and globalization is globalization cycle. Here, this is the key point in this talk. All right, the logic like this. A country with hegemony usually push globalization because they believe they have big advantage and also they can benefit a lot from globalization, right? But at the same time, globalization may encourage technology spill over in potential superpower. That's happened, in first wave globalization and also second wave globalization. If you look at history in 19th centuries, how US economy was rising. US benefited a lot from technology from the UK. Actually, US even encouraged, immigrants from the UK because it's technology. UK at that time feel so confident. Oh, it's okay, it's all right, so no problem. But eventually, US was rising. When UK realized it was too late. This happened again in past 40 years, particularly for past 20 years. US was so confident in 2001 when China entered WTO, World Trade Organization. At that time, there was no problem. We believe when China got in WTO, China become more liberalized in economy, also politically may, moving towards to democratic system at that time. But right now, if you read newspaper, journal articles, you will find out actually many American people feel angry about that. So stupid people there. Why they allow China get in WTO? Because China actually take advantage of WTO and then become a superpower. Well, we found out this actually somehow is a logic of globalization. So a new superpower challenges existing superpower. Then we got a decoupling and a deglobalization. So now I will draw a diagram again here. For this part, let's project it. We expect, this will happen. All right. So first wave, 43 years globalization. In this period, US, was rising. Then when UK realized, US was rising, and so decoupling. Of course, what we see actually is a 2 world war. But basically, from economic perspective, we believe as deglobalization. All right. At the end of the Second World War, U.S. became the new Germany. Yeah, U.S. tried to push globalization, but soon former Soviet Union also become a superpower. So the real second globalization wave actually started in 1991 when former Soviet Union collapsed. So for this period, we just have 42 years. Yeah, it's similar to this one, 43 years. Yeah, similar. Yeah, but right now, yeah, if you combine all information together, you will find out U.S. feels no choice. Yeah, decoupling. Even European Union does not like it. Use de-risking. We believe it's decoupling, not de-risking. Yeah. So we expect in the following decades, we will see de-globalization. Here for the U.S., yeah, the trend already appeared. Yeah, you see, China's share in U.S. good imports, yeah, actually, yeah, already decreasing. Yeah, and your share in U.S. imports by country, USA, obviously, yeah. This is China, yeah, this is share, and this one's increasing, yeah. And here, yeah, by country, it's obviously the top U.S. trade partner, yeah. China, yeah, here is number one. Canada has been for a long time number one trade partner of the U.S. because two countries so close, yeah. But the share for Canada actually decreased, yeah, in this few years, China, yeah, number one. And Mexico, yeah, is growing, but then decreased a little bit, but recently, in particular for past few years, Mexico become one, surpassed China. So right now, yeah, Mexico and Canada, China. Yeah, this is Germany and Japan, you might say, that's far from the top three. So here we come to the concluding remarks. Right? So it's hard to predict, yeah, hard to predict who as US, China will be winner in the following years of deglobalization. We know for the first wave of globalization, US was winner. All right, so become the Germany. But right now we cannot say that for China, for the US. It's hard to say because many factors could influence the outcome. Yeah, but only sure we say that's decoupling and deglobalization. Yeah, is going to take place. Yeah, that's the conclusion. Yeah, so think about for each of the US, China, internal, external factors could influence this outcome. So I believe right now in each of the US, China internal problem, also problem is think about in the US right now. Yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah, I remember when I came to US president was so young, he said, Clinton, yeah, so just 40 years. Then, yeah, even George Bush also young, and Obama, oh my God, he was black, also very young. But think about Biden. Biden said he will continue run second term. I remember when I was in China as a kid, yeah, Chairman Mao was very old because it's Chinese leader. But right now, Chinese leader actually is not so old. Yeah, Xi Jinping is just 70, but it looks like he's dynamic, right? Yeah. So something, yeah, we just worry about the US. What's happened? Young people, where's the young people? Yeah, so old. And Donald Trump was also so old, right? So, and also, yeah, right now, I believe, yeah, not like, say, Cold War internal, yeah, we do not have, yeah, a lot of agreement, yeah, for many things. This is an issue for the US. And for China internal, that's also a lot of problem. Recently, we say that's high unemployment for the young people, particularly the college, the urban college students. Yeah, it's very difficult because China was rising just because they have a lot of unskilled laborers. At that time, say 20 years ago, yeah, many people, young people, that actually working in the factory as blue collar. But right now in urban area, no, the young people they said, well, I have college, certificate degrees. How could I work in a factory as a blue collar? I would like to sit in the office with air conditioning. This is the problem, really. So actually, I talked to my friends as economists in China. It's not no opening. It's not the case. No opening. It's no opening for good job. The people in office, they don't want to work in the factory. I believe in the US, that's also a problem. Yeah, if you ask some people, it's, how about you go to, say, Detroit, mobile factory? Yeah, blue collar. No, I don't like that job because the current ongoing strikes. Yeah, I did not realize salary, yeah, ridiculous, much lower than the service sector. So for each of China, US, they have some problem internal and also external. So we see the world news, a lot of that's external. Yeah, Ukraine war and Middle East, or even right now Taiwan issues, something in South Korea, North Korea. Yeah, that's external, and also each side have internal issues. All of this combined together will influence outcome of the globalization in the coming decades. All right, that's all. Question, comments.
Thank you, Professor. We have some time for questions, and Kevin,
Yes.
please remind that there's some audience on the Zoom. So
Okay.
please look over the
yes.
if they have a question. But for the time being, if you have any question, feel free to raise any questions for Professor Zhang. Okay. If no, why don't you look at the Zoom?
Okay.
You see whether they have questions. Did you see?
And maybe I just, in terms of this globalization, the cause and effect. I know this historic data is very kind of interesting. And at the same time, if you look at this investment and also the development, that's right. So there is a period of time that China need a lot of investment. That's why you see a lot of the foreign investment, not export. I guess as the economy develops and also kind of maturing, that's right. So it is a natural. They're not going to need to say input many high-tech product or export in those kind of things. So some of this just I saw these kind of seems kind of logical growth of the phases as one economy become more sophisticated. I mean, yours is always it is always on the sophisticated side. So what my point here now, maybe there's not really, even though there's a lot of talk about deglobalization, if you do not so-called impose those concepts, but the economy going to develop in that way, so the China going to let's depend on US.
Yes.
For export high-tech goods, for as you give some of the examples, because they develop technology in certain way has less demand on that one. So I saw this kind of effect, right? The somehow directed effect, directed. Right.
Yes, I got your idea. You're right, actually. For a large country like the US, China right now also is a large economy, yeah, in GDP. Indeed, yeah. When for many small countries, small economies, if we use a measurement, trade over GDP, usually this ratio will be very large. For larger economy, this ratio will become smaller, even when the economy in absolute amount of trade is still increasing, but GDP growth will be more rapidly than trade. Then this ratio becomes smaller. Here, I give you an example. In 2015, trade to GDP ratio, that's export imports together, in Chinese GDP, 60%, over 60%, actually 63%. But right now, dropped to 35. But total trade volume is still increasing. But the Chinese economy, the GDP actually somehow increased, rapidly, and more rapidly, than trade. So this ratio, US actually is about 30. China right now is 30, 35, 37. So you're right. This actually, if you look at the individual country, you cannot use this one to indicate our globalization or deglobalization. You're right, But we say overall in the world, in particular, you will say China, we believe the total trade, amount of trade may not increase, maybe decreasing over time. even GDP still increases in the future. Because many people believe 2023 probably is a year with high, in terms absolute amount of trade, probably is a peak already. So this is the indicator so-called, de-globalization. But not increasing, but even when decrease, because always say more protection. Actually, many people believe US have trade war against China. Maybe US will reduce. Actually, China also will reduce. You think, but I believe, in following 2 or 3 years, you will see Chinese people buy less iPhone, buy more smartphone made by Huawei brand. If Huawei's smartphone quality is as good as iPhone. And also other products, in particular chips. So many people believe the new smartphones appeared by Huawei have big influence, not Apple, the company iPhone, but Broadcom, the company in Chinese Gaotong, because many Chinese firms right now imported a lot of chips. Remember, it's not high end, it's middle or lower. If China can produce more by itself, high-end chips, this part of imports from the US disappeared. So trade will decrease. Remember, this item actually, each year China spend more than 300, I think close to 400 billion US dollars. So this item in actual chips is the largest item for China to import. More than petroleum oil chips. That's why US feels so confident with economic sanction concentrated on semiconductor, particular chips. So each country, US, China, try very hard to be in the situation as self-sufficient, go that way. If this happens, de-globalization.
I guess that's very insightful. I guess the point here now is that, this is a lateral cause of the economic development. As Chinese economy become more sophisticated, the less dependent on US. So,
Right.
But at the same time, if we're taking the historical perspective, particularly like how the policymakers, look at this one, we should take an active or proactive action, try to globalize the economy, or even we should have a war to, stop the, taking particularly the first one. That becomes very dangerous, in terms of how to make them, implement or make a policy or advocate, or even the public, how we should become very protective, to protect. But other than accept the fact, this is electoral growth as the economy grow, it happening this way. The number just reflect that, but it's as you said, it's actually the bigger base of growth of Chinese economy. So that, but the actual absolute number, as you showed, is not actually changing much at all. It's even higher.
I totally agree with you. Actually, I believe in the US, most economists also hold the same opinion, just like what you said. We believe for economists, globalization is much better than de-globalization. But for US government, particularly the people in Congress, the politicians, they made policy based on not purely economic consideration. Also some political say why, to this my point. Actually, I believe I say something beyond economics, say great power compensation. Usually for economics, we do not discuss this kind of issue, but we found out globalization largely influenced by great power compensation. That's what we learned from history. So why we have globalization, mainly motivated by economic consideration. Actually, they had that still, great power, because the UK and the US, why US push globalization, since 1991. US believe at that time, this will be very good for US great power. Well, actually maintain and even enforce US status in the world. But what happened actually, it's not exactly the same as what they expected. In part, we believe actually, if the country, got some way to learn technology, then even you don't want to see it, but still somehow some challenger may appear. So that's what we see in the history, say US in 19th century and for past 30 years, China, just like US in 19th centuries. So that's why you're right. We think globalization overall economically is better than decoupling deglobalization. But if you see in particular, you see the congressman, they very aggressive, say, oh, we should right now stop any links with China, something. But the Forbes, no, this will cause big loss. Big loss.
So that will affect the economy.
Kevin, I want to remind you there are two questions.
Two questions. Okay.
Read the question. Maybe they
Okay.
they do not know. They
This
cannot see it.
question, how much of the deglobalization trend is due to decoupling policies, as you argue, and how much is due to handover from COVID-19 to China's zero COVID lockdown? I think this the answer is a matter because it's driven primarily and later. Then it's potentially reversible if government can resist protectionism. Well, I think COVID-19 definitely matters. But I would say this is an accident. Even without COVID-19, this probably take a few years, still for decoupling. And the second question, if there are not trade between US and China, could each country survive economically? Answer is yes, but may not be efficiently economic, because trade between the two countries make both countries better off. That's basic, outcome from international trade economies. Including me, we believe, globalization can make all countries better off, economically,
Any other question? Let me check whether any.
One question,
I think the only two questions. Any other questions? If no, then thank you.
Thank you.
And there's some snack here. Please help yourself for the snack. Okay. Help yourself. Okay.
I'm sorry, we.
You eat already?
Visiting start, so we.
Oh.